what are vapes. And I kind of did a reverse of the definition. So I'm going to start by talking about what they are not. They are not actually approved U.S. Food and Drug Administration, so the FDA, quit resources or quit tobacco devices, and should not be marketed as such. So a lot of people, I think, tend to think of vapes and other devices as a way for people to quit tobacco use. And interestingly enough, that is what they were originally created for. However, Big Tobacco kind of got a hold of that and decided, hey, well, we could, really use these to market to other people, to kind of backfill the population that they used to have, who would use regular tobacco products with a younger generation of users. So I just wanted to throw that out there, that they're not actually a valid quit tobacco device. So I will also say that in the public health world, we actually refer to vapes as ENDS, so ENDS, and that stands for electronic nicotine delivery systems. And we do that just because there's so many different devices that are coming out constantly, that they're not all considered to be vapes, but they are all considered to be those electronic nicotine delivery systems. So if you ever hear ENDS from someone, that's kind of why we use that term. And then to go along with that, so a lot of people think that a lot of the vapes that they use, or ENDS devices, do not contain nicotine. However, a bunch of studies in the past few years have showed that even when the label says that vapes or ENDS do not contain nicotine, they actually have tested them from a third-party tester, and they have found that there, in fact, are levels of nicotine in a lot of these devices. And a lot of them actually have really high nicotine contents in them. One of those products is Juul, which I'm sure a lot of people are pretty familiar with. That's one of the most popular ENDS devices that we have kind of been introduced to in the past few years. And there's a bunch of other ones that I can kind of go through later, but those were kind of the initial big vape that people kind of used. So I guess I want to share this information with you guys because it's especially important to prevent youth use of these devices. Nicotine is a highly addictive chemical that can interfere with normal brain development, and I'll get to this in just a second. But I think it's just really important to kind of dispel any misconceptions or misinformation out there to make sure that people have the correct information from valid sources. A lot of the information out there, I think, is being promoted by Big Tobacco and other vape companies, which is just not very fair for them to be doing that. So our job in prevention is really just to make sure that people are getting all of the information, and then you can make your own informed decision from there. But I think it's very important to have all that information first.